But you will cheat. You will cheat.
Hey, look, everybody keeps saying I'm cheating for no reason.
Good. Nice composure, good. Two underneath when he leans on you. Don't give him time. That's it.
Come on.
Terence Crawford visits Anthony Joshua's camp ahead of the Jake Paul fight, creating a buzz across the boxing world. Crawford spends time watching Joshua's sessions closely. Their work together signals how seriously Joshua is preparing, bringing in elite minds to elevate his performance. The presence of a pound-for-pound star adds intensity and focus to Joshua's camp as fight night approaches.
Good. Good. Nice composure, good. Two underneath when he leans on you. Don't give him time.
Anthony Joshua always looks for new experiences and fresh advice from every fighter he meets, and he absorbs every style he can. He enjoys learning from different minds, and he uses every lesson to shape his own approach. This habit keeps him growing stronger and more complete in every camp.
Saying a happy fighter is a good fighter, and each individual, uses different things and finds out different ways to keep them occupied and keep them happy. And for me, it was just like...
Anthony Joshua pushes himself through intense training sessions designed to harden his body and sharpen his reactions. He uses deep ice baths to control inflammation and recover faster so he can attack each workout with full strength. After recovering, he dives into tough drills that test his power, speed, and mental focus. Every part of this routine shows how committed he is to preparing at the highest level. Wade Plemons, the combat sports analyst, gives a very firm view on how Anthony Joshua should handle Jake Paul. According to him, this is not the kind of fight where Joshua needs to feel things out or stretch the action for entertainment. Wade stresses that Joshua must handle this quickly with purpose and without letting the fight extend into unnecessary rounds. His reasoning is simple. A heavyweight with Joshua's resume and reputation cannot afford to give Jake Paul extra time in the ring. Wade points out that prolonging the fight would bring unnecessary questions and could even harm Joshua's image. Instead, he believes Joshua should end things early to protect his standing in the sport. Since many eyes will be on this matchup, from casual fans to those who follow influencer boxing, Wade argues that Joshua has to set a clear tone from the first bell. He has the size, experience, and power advantage. And Wade insists that the cleanest way to handle this assignment is by securing a quick finish.
Which I think could be a little bit of a feeling out first round for AJ too, then Jake wins to me. And I know that sounds like, oh, but it's true, bro. AJ shouldn't be going rounds with Jake. He just shouldn't. That's a two-time world champion. You know what I'm saying?
Olympic gold medalist,
gold medalist, two-time world champion. You shouldn't be going rounds with Jake. Jake hasn't fought anybody in, I don't don't know where they currently rank Tommy Fury, but he hasn't fought anybody in the top 50 in any weight division he's participated in. Mm-hmm. So if that guy's going 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds with you, cooked. But I think if you're putting money on it, I would say but AJ round 3 maybe.
Yeah, I'd say
2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Everybody's kind of jumping on the AJ round 2, and I'm like, Jake's tough. Could he use his feet for a little bit longer than people imagine? Is it going to be tougher for AJ to land on him early? Maybe, but I think at a certain point, the cat corrals the mouse a little bit. But we'll see, dude. Who knows? Jake's got some good guys in camp. He brought in Lawrence Okoli, big Lawrence Okoli now too. Did you see him?
Well, they were. I remember being in Dubai like 3 years ago. Do you remember 3 years ago when we were? Commentated for Deji vs Merva. Yeah. And funny enough, from that fight week, Jake Paul went and hung out, went shooting of AJ. Yeah. I think laser tag of AJ. Yeah. 3 years ago on the same week.
Wild. That entire week now is like coming to full fruition. It was here in Dubai. It was Jake on commentary. First time I had met Jake, talking shit to Tommy Fury. Lawrence Okoli was on commentary with me, and I was like, how are you a cruiserweight? Because at that time, he was still a cruiserweight. And I was like, how the fuck are you a cruiserweight? You're massive. And sure enough, now he's like 265-pound heavyweight. He's way too big, by the way. But, he's got Lawrence in camp. He's got Jared Anderson in camp. What's supposed to have been our...
Anthony Joshua's camp for the Jake Paul fight represents a very different approach from his usual preparations. Joshua, a former unified heavyweight world champion, is known for structured routines, strict planning, and controlled sparring environments. But this camp takes an entirely new direction for him. The intensity is higher, the pace is tighter, and the style changes reflect that he isn't taking Jake lightly. Anthony Joshua revealing his weight at around 110 kilograms, or roughly 243 pounds, became a major talking point. For most of his career, Joshua didn't need to adjust his weight dramatically. He has always stayed within a comfortable range that worked for his style. But this time it became clear he had cut around 20 pounds in a short window, and that raised concerns among analysts. Losing that amount of weight at this stage of his career is complex. Joshua is now in his mid-30s, and cutting weight sharply is tougher on the body than it was when he was younger. It affects strength, recovery, hydration, and overall performance. The decision demonstrates just how seriously he is preparing for Jake Paul, but it also highlights the risks he is taking. While dropping weight might help his speed, it could also reduce some of the natural power and physical presence that he built his career on. This balance becomes particularly important, especially when facing someone lighter but active and energetic. Joshua seems to be finding a middle ground. Lighter for movement, but heavy enough to maintain the strength that makes him dangerous.
Fundamentally, you're still living life as normal. You're not restricting yourself that much. You know, if you're eating 2 pieces of chicken, maybe you just eat a piece. You see what I mean? You're not going to the extreme to try and actually dehydrate yourself or anything like that. It's very different than having to actually hit a specific weight, all right? And to do that in a relatively short space of time, because this fight's, not that long has it been announced, and it's not that long until the fight's only 2 weeks away. Eddie Hearn was talking about AJ weighing 265 a couple of days ago. So you're thinking, okay, 20 pounds in 3 weeks? That's not ideal for someone who, again, is in their mid to late 30s, a year in activity, and crucially has never had to hit a specific weight throughout the course of his career. Never had to do it. All right. So it did have me kind of worrying a little bit and thinking, is this a miscalculation, accepting that? Because in terms of him fighting Jake Paul, he's going to win. I mean, there's no ifs about it. He's going to win this fight. It's pretty much a given. All right. But it did have me wondering. Now, AJ, as I said, he took to his social media accounts to show that he's currently weighing 110.6 kg, which is around about 243 US pounds. So that's well under the weight limit. So a lot of people are saying, slam dunk, it's done. Well, I got a few questions on that, because you do have to ask these questions. You're talking about Anthony Joshua, who over the course of the last, 3 years has been solid in the 250s. Hasn't weighed sub 240 or sub 250 since he fought Usyk 3 years ago. And bear in mind, he would have went into camp fully intending to be mobile, speed. He would have spent 3, maybe 4 months working on, what's an ideal weight for that, working on this, that, and the other. So it's not like, a crash diet for the Usyk fight or anything like that. And AJ is someone who loves the resistance training. That seems to be the main thing that he does. And outside of camp, he probably would have thought he was fighting Cassius Chaney, which is the name that
Carl Froch, the former super middleweight world champion known for his blunt honesty, shares his perspective on why this Jake Paul fight might make sense for Joshua. Froch believes Joshua is entering the late stage of his career. He has already achieved a long list of accomplishments: world titles, stadium fights, and major pay-per-view events. According to Froch, there simply aren't many meaningful fights left for Joshua that haven't already happened. Accepting the Jake Paul fight, in Froch's view, isn't a bad career move. He sees it as Joshua securing a huge payday in a matchup that still brings global attention. Froch also mentions the possibility of Joshua facing Tyson Fury afterward, which would remain one of the biggest fights in boxing history if it finally happens. After that, Froch thinks Joshua might not have much left to chase in the sport. He doesn't criticize Joshua's choice. Instead, he frames it as a smart financial decision at the right time. He believes fighters must take the opportunities that come their way. And with Joshua already having built a legendary resume, this fight is more about business and entertainment than legacy.
And for me, he's found his limit now, found his level. So now he needs to look at his health and look at what he's got after boxing. And if he can make 50 mil, whatever he's making, to fight fucking in the clown world against the clown show, do you know what I mean? Then take the money, man. Yeah. Take it and go and live your life. I can't see AJ fighting for a world title again. I don't know who he fights and who he would beat and how we would get that desire back to become a world champion. But Eddie Hearn's got to sell it and try and say AJ's going to be world champ again. 3-time world champ, but I'm not buying into that bullshit. I think AJ's had a great career. He's done massive things for professional boxing, and now he's at the end of his career and he's cashing out. And who can blame him? I'd do exactly the same at the end of my career. I'd fight fucking Jake Paul for mega money and then drop the mic and then go home. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to knock him for doing it.
As much as you say that his career is maybe done after this, he has obviously made the jump, left Ben Davison, gone to Usyk. Do you think that could maybe reignite a flame in AJ? Maybe change something that you might not believe is there at the moment?
No, it's too old. Too old. I've been 36, 37 years old, but I've never had 150 million quid in the bank. Do you know what I mean? And I think the combination of his age, the fact that he's been flattened a couple of times, and now he's making mega money. Why is he going to try and become a world champion again? He's got to train for 10 weeks and spar really hard sparring. And then he's got to get in the ring on Fight Night with 10-ounce gloves against somebody like Dubois, or he's not going to fight Usyk again. Maybe he sticks around and fights Tyson Fury, because that's another commercial mega fight, which is actually fighting somebody who's on the same level.
Johnny Nelson, the former cruiserweight world champion and respected Sky Sports analyst, shares a very different angle about this fight. While many discuss what Joshua needs to do, Nelson focuses on what could happen to Jake Paul if things go wrong. He expresses real concern that Jake could face a harsh outcome if he takes heavy shots from someone of Joshua's size and punching ability. Nelson explains that Jake Paul has improved significantly since entering boxing, but facing a former heavyweight champion is on a completely different level. Heavyweight power is not comparable to anything Jake has experienced before. Nelson warns that a bad moment in this fight could be serious for Jake's health and long-term career.
AJ, I'm stuck in between, because nobody on this green earth would actually turn down 50, 60 million to fight Jake Paul. And people that don't like this will probably watch it because they want to see Jake Paul getting knocked out. So what's it say about AJ and what's it say about Jake Paul? I think I was thinking upside down. For AJ, I thought, Mama's cashing out. He's cashing out because he's going down this mimic line. But I thought, in reality, is he? Realistically, he's thinking, you know what? This big mouth YouTuber stroke boxer has the cheek to call me out. I'd be pissed off at that, if I'm honest with you. I'd be upset if I was AJ, thinking, that's disrespect, man. You think you can deal with me? But he didn't. AJ was jovial and he commended Jake Paul's business acumen, saying, we've sat down, the deal's been done. But still, it just leaves an odd taste in your mouth. So as long as AJ gets the job done, and I mean gets the job done, shows his world-class pedigree and wipes this boy out, then everybody's happy. But how does it enhance his career? The only way it enhances his career is financially. That's it. No other way. There's no props from beating Jake Paul, apart from saying, thank God you shut him up. For Jake Paul now, I got to give this boy props, because he now has our attention and the whole world is talking about Jake Paul.
I want to say a big thanks to our sponsors, Bet Goodwin, for supporting That Boxing Show. Now, if you're interested in having a little flutter, or as I call it after my dad, Benji's Bets, Bet Goodwin's the place to be. Check out Bet Goodwin using the QR code on the screen.
I'm probably all right. I'm probably 90% thinking the fight's going to happen. But I'm struggling. I'm thinking, this boy can't be so stupid. But then you hear a whisper. You hear a whisper that Jake Paul himself might be cashing out, because the big purses that he's pulling, fighting these has-beens or ex-fighters, they're dropping slowly but surely. So maybe, just maybe, this might be his last fight, getting in there with Anthony Joshua and getting knocked out. But there's always that conspiracy theory. Are there some contract agreements that can and cannot be done, which will never see the light of day, that we don't know about? Well, if you're an ex-fighter and if you like the fight game, you'll see fake. You'll know fake when you see it. So if there's any of that fakery going on with this, pulling a shot, taking it easy, giving my